On April 14 at 2:17 a.m., former finalist Marcus Hale collapses backstage after 19 hours of filming. His heart rate spikes to 168. Cameras keep rolling. Producers don't cut. For exactly 47 seconds, nobody moves. By 9:42 a.m., the clip circulates in 12 group chats among cast members. 3 contestants admit they experience identical symptoms: tight chest, blurred vision, shaking hands. Contracts forbid them from leaving set. But that's not even the worst part. At 11:58 p.m. the same night, a production assistant logs 23 medical pauses in a single episode shoot. None make the final cut. Viewers see tears. They don't see oxygen masks. But that's not even the worst part. Everyone assumes the pressure comes from competition. Win or go home. But internal call sheets show 16-hour lock-ins, no phones, no daylight. The panic spikes before eliminations even start. So what is actually triggering it? Producers publicly promise on-set therapists. Yet contestants whisper about appointments scheduled at 3:30 a.m. between confessionals. Therapy becomes another scene. Cameras sometimes stay inches away. Why does support feel like surveillance? Stay with this. By the end, you understand why 3 former contestants delete 6 years of posts in under an hour. Here's the first crack in the story: panic isn't random. It spikes exactly 22 minutes after producers reshuffle alliances. On June 3 at 6:11 p.m., contestant Alina Cruz stares at a craft services table for 14 minutes. She doesn't blink. Her mic captures shallow breathing. Editors later amplify the sound. Viewers call it drama. Her doctor calls it acute panic. The contradiction grows. Public promos scream unscripted freedom. Internal memos outline 42 suggested talking points per episode. When dialogue misses the mark, takes repeat. Stress compounds. Authenticity starts to fracture. By July 19, 8:03 p.m., 2 contestants text the same phrase to different friends: "I can't breathe." Neither knows the other sends it. The network trends worldwide that night. But the trend hides something deeper. Stop. Rewind that. In one season, 11 out of 14 contestants request medical check-ins. Only 3 segments air. That's a 78% silence rate. The storyline celebrates resilience. The footage tells a different story. August 2, 1:26 a.m. Marcus sits alone in a rental SUV, engine off. He counts backwards from 100. At 63, he forgets the numbers. At 41, he calls his mother. The cameras aren't there. The panic is. Contracts reveal a $250,000 penalty for leaving mid-season without medical necessity. But medical necessity requires approval from production. See the loop? Pressure becomes policy. And policy becomes panic. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, Alina's sister watches the episode live. She notices her hands shaking during a toast scene. She timestamps it, 1844. That clip goes viral for the wrong reason. Here's what flips everything. A producer admits off-camera that heightened anxiety tests character. That single sentence reframes the entire competition. Panic isn't collateral damage. It's a narrative tool. And here's the number that changes everything: 19 hours. That's the average filming day during finale week. Sleep drops below 4 hours. Cortisol spikes. Conflict escalates by design. September 10 at 7:33 p.m., a contestant requests 5 minutes alone. The request is denied. Cameras follow her into a bathroom stall. The microphone stays on. That audio never airs. Viewers see champagne celebrations. They don't see the medics log noting 12 anxiety-related check-ins in 48 hours. The show trends as empowering. Backstage, someone hyperventilates into a paper bag. And before you say it's just part of fame, many contestants are unknown before casting. They walk in with 3,000 followers. They walk out to 2.3 million strangers judging every breath. That shift hits fast. By October 21, 10:02 p.m., 3 alumni privately coordinate a joint statement about panic attacks during filming. They hesitate. Legal review stretches 17 days. Silence feels safer than honesty. Right now, networks call it intense storytelling. Former contestants call it something else. Two sides. Both with consequences. And honestly? Most people under 19-hour lights might break the same way. What do you think? November 3rd at 8:48 p.m., a contestant's smartwatch records a resting heart rate of 132 while she sits perfectly still under studio lights. She smiles on cue. The data tells a different story, and it never makes air. In the control room, producers tag moments as escalate or cool off. Escalate gets priority. Tension equals retention. The edit timeline stretches to 47 minutes of compressed conflict from 11 hours of footage. December 12th at 12:06 a.m., a contestant asks for water twice in one confessional. The third request comes with shaking hands. The scene airs with dramatic music instead of a pause. Hydration becomes suspense. Production insurance policies calculate acceptable risk in percentages. Anxiety falls under non-physical incident. That classification changes everything. What isn't visible becomes negotiable. Freeze that frame. In episode 7 at 32:14, a contestant's jaw locks mid-sentence for exactly 4 seconds. Editors cut to reaction shots. The pause disappears. The body keeps the memory. January 5th at 6:55 p.m., producers introduce a surprise twist with no prior briefing. 3 alliances collapse in under 9 minutes. Heart rates spike across the cast simultaneously. Chaos is scheduled like fireworks. A former contestant reveals she loses 11 pounds in 28 days during filming. Craft Services stays open 24 hours. Stress outruns appetite. The mirror reflects the cost long before the finale. Meanwhile, editors sync music drops to moments of visible trembling. The soundtrack tells viewers when to feel tension. The body trembles first. The score arrives second. The audience never sees the order reversed. February 18th at 9:09 p.m., a contestant whispers "I'm not okay" off mic. Boom audio catches it anyway. The line gets buried under crowd noise in post-production. The words exist, just not publicly. Here's the stat nobody markets: average sleep during finale week measures 3.7 hours per night. After 4 days, cognitive reaction time drops 30%. Mistakes multiply. Conflict feels louder than logic. March 2nd at 4:44 p.m., a contestant's parent emails production asking about visible shaking in episode 5. The reply cites creative direction. Family concern meets corporate language. The gap widens. During a 14-camera elimination, one contestant stares at the exit sign instead of the host. Her pupils track the glowing word exit for 6 seconds. Editors cut before viewers notice. The instinct to leave is visible. April 9th at 1:03 a.m., a medic recommends 24-hour rest for acute anxiety. Production grants 90 minutes. Filming resumes at 2:37 a.m. The clock outruns recovery. Contracts include non-disparagement clauses lasting 5 years. Speak carefully or pay heavily. Silence becomes part of the prize package. The real confession often happens long after the trophy photo. Stop. Listen to this number. One season films 640 hours of raw footage. The final cut shows 11. What disappears in those 629 unseen hours shapes everything viewers believe. May 27th at 7:21 p.m., a contestant deletes 6 years of social posts within 43 minutes after a panic clip trends. The timeline goes blank. Erasing becomes defense. The internet never forgets. A casting director admits off-camera that high-reactivity personalities test well. That selection bias loads the season before filming even starts. The pressure cooker is built in advance. June 14th at 10:58 p.m., a contestant grips a railing so tightly her knuckles pale under studio LEDs. The shot airs in slow motion with dramatic strings. The body reads threat. The edit reads triumph. Alumni group chats reveal a pattern. Panic peaks after public voting results post at 8 p.m. sharp. Phones buzz non-stop. Comments flood in waves of praise and attack. The nervous system never clocks out. Networks call it transformation. Contestants call it survival. 40 episodes later, the data, the logs, the heart rates tell a layered story. The spotlight shines bright, and the cost hides in plain sight. November 18 at 8 p.m., public voting results post live. Marcus sees his name flash red on the monitor. His hand tightens around the railing. The studio sound drops to a dull hum. Something inside him shifts. He walks off stage at 8:05 p.m. The hallway feels longer than before. Each step echoes. He passes the exit sign he once stared at. This time, he doesn't look up. At 8:07 p.m., he sits on a folding chair behind the set. He leans forward. Elbows on knees. Head down. He stays there for 6 hours without moving. The cameras are gone. The panic isn't. 14 million views in 36 hours. By 10:12 p.m., his sister texts 3 former castmates asking what happened off camera. Group chats ignite. Screenshots leak within minutes. The first viral post isn't the elimination, it's the 47-second freeze from April. At 11:30 p.m., headlines label it dramatic television. Clips loop his blank stare. Comment section split into camps, strength versus exploitation. The narrative fractures in real time. December 1st at 9 a.m., Marcus posts a single black square. No caption. No explanation. The silence lasts 72 hours. The speculation grows louder than any confessional ever aired. January 10th at 4 p.m., 3 alumni file a formal complaint citing 19-hour days and denied breaks. Production denies wrongdoing. The contract's 5-year clause still stands. The story explodes, but the consequences are just beginning.